Part 3. Entry 31. The cherry trees have swollen buds, and I have brains. Everything goes with a creak. This does not apply to ordinary studies, of course. The fairy of light is definitely not magic. Because the energy, the thing that makes magic, it turns out, I have not seen, and I do not see. I was trying to optimize my spontaneous design into something more manageable. 100 M2 wooden pencils as experimental material, 2 weeks of torment in the evenings, and I accidentally managed to assemble a DC source from pencils and myself. It's an awesome feeling when a 100-watt lamp burns from your hands. I have enough for almost an hour. It's about the birds, in the sense of my strength. True, the question of efficiency remains open, but there is already something to focus on. So, I noticed that when the voltage is applied, nothing in the pattern of light lines visible to me changes. In general, apparently, we need to experiment again, now with our own eyes. The very thought of such an experiment and its possible consequences immediately makes me lose the desire to learn to see magic. Or should I get extremely scared again? Entry 32. Cherry, Sakura, in bloom, classmates go mysterious and goofy. Sometimes the wind raises a real blizzard of petals, it's really beautiful. But it's not fun to draw this cherry blossom at all. It's good that we did it just on the nearest alley. And yes, the school festival is coming, however, not soon, in a month and a half, but you need to come up with a theme for the class right now. The headman composted the brains. It's absolutely ridiculous. We're all small, terribly inflated with a sense of self-importance, and our class teacher, a young teacher in general, she's about 25 years old, is also pretty serious. My face also embodies seriousness. I put on glasses. They called me names at the kiosk, where I immediately bought a box of 100 pieces, computer. But the look is stylish. Yes, I measured 20 pieces until I puzzled the seller wholesale. How he was skewed, sickly, even had to leave a deposit for the order. But the Japanese was a very polite Japanese, and did not ask anything. Why glasses? Well, I decided, instead of disfiguring the eyes, it's better to kill the glasses. I don't feel sorry for them. So far, I have not been able to impose magic vision, but I decided in advance to teach everyone that I wear glasses. That's what he said to the headman, to fit the image of a nerd. Why does this phrase cause a total break in the template for every questioner? Entry 33. Aapshi. Rinko saved a kitten, a small one terribly, only her eyes opened. It's good that you can protect yourself from magically induced allergies with ordinary Supriston. Neither Kyuzaki herself nor her parents had anything to do with pets, it turns out. That's why a sad fate awaited her, if not for me. I had to take Rinko by the hand and buy cat's feed milk, a pacifier for kittens, diapers. This is after I fed him the usual heated cow's milk from a syringe. Now my neighbor is rushing home after school to visit her pet, and then back to self-training. Yes, Rinko runs fast, unlike me. Demon hunter, shame, although I myself regularly try to run in the park, I do not have enough speed or endurance. But it is frankly scary to modernize the muscles, although I have already redrawn the structure and memorized it. And for bones, too. It remains to understand how it all works, and I can try to create my own seal. Everything twists inside me when I imagine how much knowledge was lost along with the last initiate into clan technology. I'd kill the freaks, technically, of course, it's not really my legacy, but I've already got used to the role. And anyway, mine is now. In addition, all the deadlines for the time of awakening have come out, and I don't even know what to think. But having come up with about 3 dozen hypotheses. Well, hypotheses, I decided not to guess on the coffee grounds. Moreover, we have a lot of experts here on instilling consciousness into someone else's body, from Ayakesai to local magicians. You can try to find out some information. Much later. First, to survive. It's good that the amulet turned out to be so durable and, it seems, capable of self-healing. By the way, only his seal changes over time, too weak for me to understand what it is. Entry 34. Rinko has nursed her kitten, now he is able to eat on his own. And we have arranged a 3D cinema in our class. Long live the torrent servers of Russia, where you can download not only a camrip to a film that has not yet been released, but also the full version of Japanese classics of cinema, and in Japanese, for home cinema. How to make a projector from a TV, I also downloaded it from some of our forum. Lepida, and how many positive emotions I got, communicating with my voice in the raid in the ruler on the Russian server. Already the accent inherent in my young body has almost disappeared. Well, a master class on a laboratory mat for the younger generation, not without it. The festival pleased me, I haven't laughed like that for a long time, and a tenth of all the fun was not shown in any anime. The main thing is to keep your eyes open and look around. Yes, and preparation. How we painted my computer glasses with nail polish in 2 colors, and boys, in general, seriously, pedagogical work has been set up in Japan here. Even if I don't fit into the team a little, I am now quite perceived by my peers from the stream of 9-year-olds as my own. However, I am almost 10 years old already, a year will soon pass since I am here. Entry 35th. What is magic? Oh, well, more specifically, what is magical energy? 12 variants of seals and pieces of glasses, respectively, and a bunch more screwed up in the trash. Each seal shows movement. Something. While I was powering the electro artifacts. This is something different. By the way, the light lines of the print can, apparently, perform different functions. Magic in Rinko by definition should not be, although it is not a fact at all, but as shown by print sample N22, which seems to register high-frequency weak currents, or fuck knows what. In short, the muscle booster seems to stupidly cause all the fibers of a single muscle to contract according to a nerve signal strictly simultaneously, and not with a lag of several milliseconds, as in a purely biological sample. Just don't ask me which part of my girlfriend and how long I've been staring at. Entry 36th. Today I'm 10, and I made myself a gift. The second wall is occupied by shelves, and on them, cages with hamsters, 20 hamsters. At first I decided to take mice, but white mice somehow don't really pull on pets, and I didn't want to attract attention. And so, he said that for the school zoo club, and it rolled. I will conduct experiments, there are 6 years left until our X. It's stupid to die from the fact that I'm so delicious, somehow I don't want to. I finally figured out where to take true magic as a reference. Yokai is the same. It seems like they consist of energy, even if they have a material body. So I'm waiting for a walk in the evening park, fortunately it's summer. And the holidays are relatively soon. It's also not a bad idea to get rid of the induced curse. Rinko is constantly dragging around with his grown-up pet, and I sneeze when I come to visit. A little annoying. However, to find a spell in your own body, I don't even know how to approach the problem. So, the hunt for spirits is declared open, starting next Saturday. And now, feed the hamsters. Entry 37th. -2 hamsters. It is necessary to apply muscle strengthening and bone reinforcement together, otherwise the creature broke both front paws. The second disable happened as a result of a very successful application of reinforcement, the bars of the cell were bitten and swallowed. Apparently, internal bleeding. He made a magic wand. Yes, that's right. In fact, it is a remote shocker, based on a fairy, a tube, a laser pointer and an optimized stamp from my first artifact, a pistol. I still figured it out a little, by trial and error. And the application of knowledge of physics. The laser ionizes the air, and an air discharge breaks off from the end of the improvised stunner along the ion path in the gas. Plus glasses, so that you don't catch more bunnies on the retina. The application looks very magical, the wand is pathetically aimed at the enemy with the end. Poor wall, melted spot again. The range of the stunners is about 5 meters, a maximum of 10, so my weapon should have about the same characteristics. Yes, to eat sweets before use, so as not to be so twisted by hunger. Entry 38. The first pancake is lumpy. In the park, of course, there are lanterns, in the alleys. The new moon, the stars, and the city light up a little. Treetops. We'll have to sculpt night vision glasses. I wonder if the bodies of demons radiate heat, maybe just buy a device in a store and not worry? On the other hand, with a nightlight mask on my face, I will look even more strange than just a little kid wandering around the park at 3 in the morning. Yes, and it seems to be heavy. It's decided, I'll do it myself. I need practice. Entry 39th. The second pancake is lumpy. 3 glasses, attached one after the other, inspire. They definitely inspire consternation. I covered the windows to train in the house. Kyuzaki came in, I just decided to start with the hall. Positive result, I was right, the bioflow detector glasses can be used as a selective filter. Many ayakasei are dissected by cities and villages in the form of people. You can't tell a horseradish, but it's immediately clear whether the spirit is or not. It seems like I should, like any hunter of any clan, feel the presence of power, but either the amulet is blocking, or I no longer encountered spirits after meeting with the maniac caterpillar. Or I just don't understand that I feel something, there is no one to explain it to. Negative result, Rinko can't digest the multi-point me in any way. I shouldn't have told her that one piece of glasses wasn't enough to express my charisma. Okay, I think I should tell her about my magical inheritance. Anyway, one way or another, the girl will get into all these things with me. However, there is an option, to break off friendly relations. But maybe it's extremely selfish, but I'm afraid to be left without a single friend. Rinko is really all I have, the only person who cares about my condition. Another point, there are not very many demons compared to people, and the danger of getting hit by a car is many times higher than under a tentacle or mental seizure, but those who are warned are armed. Well, the last argument is responsibility. I don't know if my parents purposely tricked my neighbor to change her attitude towards me, or if she got handed out along with the whole block, and her concern is just a manifestation of character, but since I remained the last representative of the clan, I am responsible for her. And for the rest of the residents, by and large, too. In addition to these lofty thoughts, one completely pragmatic motive came to my mind: it is much easier to believe in magic at 10 than at 16. Not just to believe, but to include in the worldview and react calmly. Okay, let's start educating our colleagues. Entry 40th. It's been a long time since I've seen a person so genuinely having fun. It was me who told Rinko about the great, but former clan of exorcists and the last heir, me. As I already said, the plot is for Senin. As proof of his magical power, Rinko offered to try on glasses. And was awarded a new portion of laughter. And everything works for me and shows what the problem is. What a moron, power supply. There is no magic in the girl, he decided so himself. Okay, I'm going to hold the glasses with my hand by the shackle now. Wow, that's the size of the eyes. Children at the age of 10 already have expressive eyes, and here is a direct approximation to the anime standard. I clicked on my mobile phone. I'll print it and hide it in an album. There will be something to tease the girl in 5 years. Great, Sergey, and ready to hear revelations about the wonders of the world. By the way, thank you, maniac multi-legged giant caterpillar demon. Now there will be someone to blame for the sudden insight and enlightenment of childhood memories. Entry 41. I'm a complete moron. Well, how can you ignore the principle of solving any problem from simple to complex? That's why, instead of trying to set up a safe experiment in laboratory conditions, I decided to look for an adventure to a soft spot in a dark city park, and if I really stumble upon someone strong, with a stunner from a corpse eater or a water spirit, I definitely won't dismiss it. And the risk of exposing yourself increases incredibly, and do I need it? The hell, the hell. so, the task is for junior classes. We have a weave that works from magic. Considering that I almost don't feel the loss of strength from glasses, magic. Mana, in short, it is not enough. Logically, if I can make a magic device, then I can convert the material by fairy and under the battery for it. Meanwhile, the holidays are in a week. The midterms are almost past, get the assignment for the summer, and… yes. You definitely won't be able to rest peacefully. Or will it work? Entry 42. I noticed a long time ago, Rinko is far from stupid, it's just too straightforward, probably. Does not understand, for example, physics, exactly until I first explain a specific useful example, about the center of gravity and where to kick, after which the theory is no longer rejected by the girl's immune system. I guess I'm boring, or it's vanity, but I like to explain. And Kiyosaki benefits, grades in natural sciences have improved. And in general, school children look at experiments with great curiosity and conduct them themselves. And if you add an element of the game, stocks of glasses are coming to an end. I donated 30 pieces to the 3D Cinema Development Fund at a particular school, and now I periodically search and download torrents for the class. It turned out that removing the effect of printing a fairy of destruction harmless to the material is possible only if the seal is not fixed in the material. It's like in the case of spontaneous drawing of lines, when I'm just next to the subject, or if the lines are moved for a few minutes after the introduction. Then, everything. It is possible to supplement the seal to some extent by imposing additional lines, if there is a place and how to express it. The logic of the older print allows. But, if you destroy an entire object with a seal, the properties dissipate, the lines in the fragments thin out and melt, further damaging the material, as if they age it. But back to the glasses. And to Rinko. Honestly, I almost decided to find Krulov's translations into Japanese on the internet. The scene was characteristic. These don't work either. And if you look the other way around, and if you turn it over? And maybe breathe on them, well, you said yourself that you don't understand how your abilities work. What and what? How is that? You told me yourself in the circle, research should be carried out in all possible ways, so, don't be lazy, let's enchant the next ones. Yes, I write, sample number 56. How, share a Doug type of drive, option 14 bis, why, and where do you get all these words from? And so on, in the same spirit. When we finally got the next option, -1 glasses, they broke, -3 more pieces, the glasses clouded to full opacity, it wasn't so safe to move the already superimposed lines, I didn't even believe it at first. Are you sure you see it, don't you think, from fatigue? Yes, exactly. You too, why are you such a bore? It turned out, hooray. Okay, and now, the trials. Entry 43rd. I didn't think Rinko could turn green like that. We conducted the tests on a biodetector. On the third attempt, I made a weave that, instead of detailing, visualizes just a glow from a living organism. And I am no longer sure that these are weak currents. At least we managed to see the cockroaches through the floor. Or not cockroaches, bugs there, or crickets, horseradish knows, but there are really a lot of them. It's good that this version of the scanner does not have enough resolution for smaller arthropods. And people can be seen 30 or 40 meters away. We determined this by going outside. Kiyosaki with glasses is awesome. The seller of ice cream, it seems, received a moral and pedo-Bernie injury, stuttered, almost forgot to give the change. That's right, one wrong move in the choice of clothing items, and you're already a loli. Well, why did Rinko blush so much and tear off her glasses? The usual thick bushes, and behind the foliage the contours of two people next to each other. And what are they doing there? I pulled off my glasses. I think my face is now like a girlfriend's, very red. Students, damn, found the same place. I didn't want to go for a walk, either from embarrassment, or envious. Entry 44th. Here it is, the moment of truth. Now I will find out what exactly we have magic. I pull out a pile of glasses with tags. Well, I'm off.